First question comes from Dane. His question for David. Dane wants to know, you won all your truck events in the Craftsman Truck Series. Would you ever return to race in that series next year because of the nostalgia with the Truck Series returning to its original name, Craftsman Truck Series? Will we see you racing a truck anytime soon?
Well, right now I don't have any schedule, but I'll never say never. I'd love to jump in a good competitive truck and run another truck race, just because the trucks, man, it's been a while for me. And I love the trucks, and it'd be kind of cool to see what they drive like today. Very competitive with the Ilmore engine that everybody runs. Everybody's got similar engines within 10 horsepower. Everybody's within 10 horsepower. All the years I raced in the truck series, that within was probably 50 horsepower. So it'd be kind of cool to run another truck race. And man, I'd hope to run another truck race in 2023. Maybe that'll happen. So I love it. I love it that the Craftsman brand is back. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, man. Craftsman,
that just sounds right.
It sounds right. And Craftsman did so much to put that series on the map. It was a great fit, great match, and the Craftsman brand really did a lot for all the drivers in that series for so long.
I wish they would have gone back to the original name, call it the NASCAR Craftsman Super Truck Series.
Super Trucks. It has a nice little natural roll off the tongue ring to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's what I'm curious. So along the same lines, David. You drive a pickup truck every day. We talk all the time about comparing, the stock cars to street cars, and the whole idea of, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. How does the truck in the truck series compare to a truck you drive on the street?
Well, you can't really compare it, because our race trucks, when the air comes around that cab and it doesn't really, the bad part of the race truck is this flat surface. And when the air comes around the cab and it hits on the back of that where the bed is, and then you got a spoiler back there. The trucks are really planted. You would think that people say, man, the trucks were unstable, were they light in the rear? And it's like, man, the trucks have a lot of downforce, and in a lot of racetracks, you ran those things wide open for not only 2 or 3 laps, for about 10, 12 laps. So the pickup trucks that we drive on the street, the Silverado truck I drive on the street, compared to the race truck, it's hard to compare it because because we do have on our regular pickups beds where we put stuff in the back of our truck. If all that was a flat surface where you couldn't put anything in the bottom of the bed, then it would probably somewhat, and you had a spoiler back there, then you'd feel all that downforce on the truck. But completely different. My race truck definitely doesn't drive like my truck on the street, but man, people's perception that a race truck on a speedway like Texas Motor Speedway or Atlanta Motor Speedway would be a little bit of a handful because how the lightweightness in the back. But I'm here to tell you that, man, these trucks have a lot of downforce. They're sturdy, they're in the racetrack, and they're fun to race.
So if you needed that truck to haul something, it could still haul something.
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah. It ain't, it's, you be hauling ass. That's about it. Because those race trucks are fast, man. They're just fast. And, yeah, no doubt about it.
I have to ask you too, Dave, speaking of the trucks, those race trucks that you won in or had good runs in or anything that was just nostalgic to you in reference to that question, are there any trucks that are around, whether it be like a Texas Motor Speedway, or do you have any at your shop, and are there any of these trucks that you race that are still, I guess, fully put together somewhere in a museum or race ready turnkey, if you will?
I have one at our race shop, back in, I think it was 1999, 2000. My Uncle Mike, I was in and out of different teams, and he said, hey, let's buy a truck from Richard Childress. And we bought a truck from Richard Childress, and it had a RCR motor. I believe we went to 5 or 6 races and should have won 4 of them. I think, I think it might've been 6 or 7 races, but man, the 2 Texas races, we were using our employees from our driving school. we'd be leading the race and make a pit stop at Texas Motor Speedway. And after the pit stop was over with, we'd be running 23rd, 22nd. We were leading, and we'd drive all the way back up to the lead or second. And we'd have another pit stop, green flag pit stop. We'd come out 23rd, and me and Mike talk about that a lot. Looking back on it, if we'd have known any better, we would have hired a pit crew. And man, and it, with just not knowing our naiveness of the sport, because I would have had 3-4 more wins on my resume. You know what I mean? Just because we had some fast race trucks. And driving for my Uncle Mike that year, drove other race trucks, but we planned on running 6 or 7 races. And I don't think the worst we ever done was 7th or 6th out of those 6 or 7 races. And that really put me on the map. And Freddie Fryer, the late Freddie Fryer, was crew chief for Wayne Spears. And I believe he told, Freddie had told me that he told Mr. Spears, he said, man, we have all these resources, all these trucks, our own motors, engineering, all this stuff. And these guys got one truck, one dually, one trailer, one engine, and they're almost winning these races. And that really, really was the start of my career, what really put me on the map. And Wayne Spears called me and hired me, and for the following year, which was pretty awesome. So great memories. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, back all those years we raced in, and man, the memories, the stories, Jack Sprague, Ron Hornaday, Mike Skinner. I mean, on and on and on. It was just, God, it was just hardcore racers. I mean, all these guys grew up building their own race cars and won many races all over the country, championships. And for all of us to meet up in the NASCAR Camping World, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series then, man, it was amazing, and it's kind of cool to still see Matt Crafton out there getting out of it, because he raced with us for years, and Johnny Sauter and Brendan Gaughan, and just on and on and on. It's just, man, those are just memories I'll never forget, and just great racing memories. The Truck Series was so stout. It's still stout today, maybe even stouter, but it was, man, back in the years I was involved in, it was unbelievable how tough it was.
Yeah, for sure.